Good afternoon, everybody, or good evening, or good morning, whatever time you're watching. So, I have noticed, of course, if you are, I guess, a Ranger owner in general, um, I'm not sure about all the sizes, 800, 900, 1000s, if this is an issue. And then to some people, it's probably not an issue because you figure, hey, the engineers, probably did it that way for a reason. But I have noticed after every ride, these open compartments, one being where the battery's at, and then two, the other side, I'll show you, just to show you. Most people probably know. Oh, but there's the gas tank, the intake, and everything. And if you look, the pump and stuff is literally just like right there on top. But the main thing is that gas tank, and the battery, because I have found some pretty substantially, or some pretty large rocks in here. I can't see any marks where they have actually struck the battery or anything up there, but either way, I just feel like it's not a good thing to repetitively have to power wash stuff like that. No matter how much dielectric grease and how much waterproofing you do, you could just accidentally get too close with a power washer and squeeze just a little bit of water. It doesn't take much to get in a connector and screw stuff up. So I have seen where they make, a couple of places have made, not many, they make an insert that goes in this whole area right here. And I'm not bashing them, and I'm not telling people how to spend the money. I just like fabricating. Most people know that off-roading involves fabricating. A lot of stuff you can make better and cheaper and stronger yourself, or at least cheaper. So this is my course of action. I had been noticing it here lately, and this is a mud flap. It's not off of a transfer truck trailer, but it's off of like a big Penske truck. It is plastic. It is the same thickness as this. If you look, spit and image. The only difference is it's textured. I paid $25 for a sheet that big. $25. It's the same thickness as the skid plate, maybe a little thinner. That's the factory skid plate right there, and this is the piece I'm putting on. So I figure it should hold. Like I said, $25. I've seen some of the inserts that go on here, and they're $60, $70, $80, depending on where you live, like, what part of the country probably, and shipping, or if you're upper or lower 50 states. So I just did a rough, I was going to do a template, but to me, it doesn't have to be pretty. It just needs to serve a purpose. It's going to be hidden. It's going to be down here. You're not even going to notice when it's done. And one thing I noticed with the aftermarket little covers in here, they only utilize these holes, which is great, but I feel like you get some residual vibrating or moving around. That's just me. That's just what I would think. So the way I was viewing it is, you've got this nifty little slot right here, and it actually curves away. I feel like it would help curve it away from that exhaust, which I probably will end up notching it, or being that it would be that close to the exhaust, and the fact that it is plastic, I might put some heat tape on it, but we'll see when it's done. But like I said, there's a slot right here, and it actually goes all the way in, if you can see. There's enough room to squeeze it in there, but it would go, you could go all the way over to the corner. But all I was wanting to do was come over enough to meet these and utilize these also. But there's a couple of more. There's one here, and I thought about making one maybe right here. If not, at least that would be 3 points, and then possibly get some automotive like seal maybe and put on there to help in case it does vibrate. But I want to try like a rough mock-up first and then go from there. I mean, because for $25, if I spent, I think it was $25 and like 80 cents for, like I said, a sheet that big. And that's a pretty big sheet of plastic. I don't know if that would be considered the UHMV or not, but either way, it's the same thickness as all the plastic that's on here. And fortunately, Polaris, they did me. They gave me a whole handful of these in the bag that my owner's manual and my toolkit came in. So, just so happens they fit. They fit there, and they fit down here. So, to me, what better way to utilize them extra ones? If I need to buy more over time, I will. I'm sure that's why they give you extra ones in case they come out. But I did take this piece off so I could get a little bit of movement out of this. But basically all I did was just, and you can see it almost just fits perfect. I mean, it's almost like you could slide it in like that and have it hang over. But I just thought it would look cleaner. Like you could almost just finagle it down in there and it would stay. But I figured if it was on the inside, of course, it would look better. Plus, it would hide my janky cut that I made with a little handheld Sawzall. So, let's see here. I wonder if I can set y'all up to where you can actually see it or just hold it. Let's see. I might just do 2 videos, like a part 1 and part 2. This way, y'all see, pretty much how easy it is and what you're working with. And then I figure if I do need to make any bends, which I shouldn't, because again, from there all the way in is straight. And it's going to be stopping pretty much about right here. Now, there is a little bit of a bend right here, but your typical heat gun or even a torch, I mean, really, this stuff, I let it sit out in the sun earlier, and it's super pliable. So I feel like even if you had to, you could just heat it across this area right here and kind of fold it in a little bit. I'm trying to stay away from using any screws. Not that they probably wouldn't hold. If I wanted to, I could probably get the clips that clip over this and then clip over this and then put some actual screws in, or put some small lock washers and nuts behind it, like up here, or drill another hole and put one of these little snap pins in there. So just wanted to bring that to y'all's attention about an easy fix. And I did notice while I was under here, just for the Ranger 570 owners, if you watched my first video where I was talking about the rub points, I found a point where it was rubbing the hose. I found 2 more, and I think it's another pretty easy fix. I think it's just when you're riding and the motor's flexing. But right here, and I did rub it off, just to make sure I didn't see no exposed spot on the coolant line. But this actually, let's see if I can get you in there. It actually comes back while you're riding and makes contact with your filter. And if anybody knows coolant lines, they really need, any kind of fluid line needs to be ran to where, and it doesn't take much, I'm barely pulling back on that, they need to be ran away from anything that could pinch, puncture, or rub. And then another spot that I noticed, I'm guessing this is the front motor mounts. There's two of them. It's almost like a cradle. If this will focus, yeah, right there. You see it? Right there. And I'm sure you could probably put another piece of hose over it, but right there you can see it. Let me get in there. Right there. It has actually put a couple of little lines in it. So I'm either going to do the same trick that I did before, and I'll show you real quick the trick. That way at least this part one of this video is a little bit longer than, you know, usual. So I always keep stuff. I am a hoarder of materials. So they sent these to me with my light bar kit. Once I get in here, I think they're in here. Oh yeah. So they sent me these to go around different sizes of bars, and then they sent these little flexible ones. Well, if you've seen in my first video, I simply just zip tied one around the line. Not super tight because I know it has to expand and contract, but I feel like you could almost take this. See if I can come around the back here. I feel like you could take this and put in here like that right there. And again, excuse the video. Boom. Take you a zip tie or something of that nature. Quit moving around here. And put around it like that. So it's, if it is making contact with that, it's not actually making contact with the hose. And again, you could probably do the same thing right here with the filter. If you look like that, just barely put it around there. Boom. There's your fix. You know, you could get a larger diameter hose and split it, actually, and you could go from here down to here. You know, make it like a wire loom. That looks like a 1/2 inch to 3/4 hose. So you could split like in a 1.5 inch hose or something like that, maybe put over it. But yeah, just for people out there that don't know yet, just because I pay attention, I have an eye for stuff like that. Especially with the hose being like this now, you know, you can't really see it now, but when something's been rubbing long enough to make the hose black again like that, then that's making contact. Not just once in a blue moon, that's pretty much continuous contact. And that's the same hose that I had a problem out of on the front side right here. You can see my other fix. You can see the zip tie where it was rubbing the frame. I wish I had a, oh, I do have a light, looky there. You see right there where it was rubbing the frame? It's actually touching the frame right now. I did the same thing right there. So it seems to mainly be this line. You can see the rub points better right there. It seems to be this line that runs maybe up to the head or something. I'm not sure. I'm not a Polaris technician, but yeah, something to keep an eye out on. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video short. I say short, it's almost 15 minutes. Once I get this side mocked up, I might wait till I get both sides mocked up and do a video of actually putting them on and show you how they look afterwards, and show you how it looks attached and all my plastics put back together. So I will catch y'all here shortly. Thank you.